Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. We are looking at Hekate the Witch by Nikita Gill. And this was bought for me at Christmas by my beloved sibling, Quinn. So thank you so much for that. So this book basically, and like at the moment, I'm really loving these modern retellings of Greek myths and I love it. I genuinely do. So this one follows Hekate the Witch. And basically, it follows her from her childhood, basically, to when she becomes who she is. And the first thing we come across her at is the fact that she's on the run, basically, because Zeus and Poseidon and all of them have won the war against the Titans. And her mum knows that they're Titans and knows that they're at risk, essentially. So she runs to the underworld and says to Hades, look after my daughter. Don't care about me, look after my daughter. Then the mother runs off and becomes an island, as you do. And I will say, so like she makes friends and she grows up. But what I found intriguing about this is the way that the chapters are written. So it's like paragraphs and then almost like poems, but they weren't proper, like, do you know what I mean? And at first, I did find it a little bit hard to get into due to the way that it was laid out, because I'm used to reading sort of like solid text. But then once you start getting into the rhythm of how it sounds, how it feels, and you start reading it properly, you end up devouring almost the whole book without realizing. So what I loved about this as well with the characters that you come across. So obviously you've got like Hades, you've got Charon, but it brings in sort of like the older gods as well, like the Titans, but also the gods that were around before the Titans, the gods and goddesses. And you've got Hekate, who's trying to find her way in this world, because as she says multiple times, is she doesn't know who she is if she doesn't have a purpose. So I think the whole part of her was she wanted to become someone that had a purpose as to who she actually was and why she was actually needed. And it was so well written. And I loved the way the characters interacted. I loved her character. I loved the way that, it takes... I mean, to be fair, I've always loved the name Hekate as well. And I've named my witch that in Hogwarts Legacy when I played it all those years ago. She was Hekate Morningstar, because, of course, why not? But I think the way that Nikita writes the characters, the way that she brings them to life, the way that they interact with the new and the old, it almost feels like you're sort of there with them. And when Hekate finds out who she is and why people have been lying to her for all these years, she becomes who she was supposed to be. It's so satisfying, because there's points where you're thinking, oh, she's not gonna be able to be who she wants to be, and then she does it and you're like, hells yeah, girl, get on it. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. And as I said, once I got past the way, English today, once I got past the way that it was written and I started to get into the rhythm of it, I read it so quickly. I read it in a couple of days, and I reckon you guys could do it in a couple of days as well. So I would definitely recommend giving this book a go, and let me know how you feel. Let me know who your favourite god or goddess is. Let me know who you sort of like reach out to, and when you're like, right, okay, I need to reach out, because there's so many out there, and I love it. And I'm not going to turn this into a religious thing, but I love the idea that there's like goddesses of fertility, of sun, of moon, and like, just the whole point, you've got like multiple different versions of death, you've got multiple different versions of gods in the sky, and it just feels so powerful to be able to read all these things and know that people did believe this at one point. But anyway, I ramble on. So let me know what you think of it below in the comments. Let me know if there's other books like this that you think I should read that I haven't already, and I'll happily give them a go. So leave your recommendations below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. So, I mean, I say so you're alerted when a new video comes out, but it's the same time every week. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday, like clockwork. So I don't think you need an alert as such. But thank you so much for your continued support, and remember to always keep it contento.